Right.
Your first convention.
Yeah.
Wow, congrats. How good for you.
Like
awesome.
of all
Ever,
conventions,
ever.
like any convention
Yeah.
whatsoever. And you came to it in full TARDIS cosplay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Your game is strong.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to Li Who.
Thanks.
Yes. Are you a local native?
Yeah, I live around here.
Okay, so you just realized that some freak show is going on.
I actually.
That sounds like my tribe. I'm in this.
I introduced my friends to the show, but they've been coming here for longer than I have.
Ah.
Nice.
Now you're getting on it.
Yeah.
All right, we think we're on the right path.
You looking to plug in?
Must be Sonic.
I've got mine in my bag.
Yes, and you can just read off the. You'll read how Jared will do a local test.
Chip can tell you.
Chips.
Chip was just here.
Hello, what?
He did it before.
Chip
Right
knows
with
things.
the monitor, plug it.
Recording off the monitor.
It seemed to work.
Good. That's a ringing endorsement. I'm pretty sure it didn't explode.
Positive attempt to explore.
If it does, we go back in time and fix it.
Chickadee, 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 chickadee. Bus.
And the mic stand is on its way. The mic stand is on its way.
Woo! Hello. Talking.
Oh, the audio is still running through Chris's. That's why I'm getting notification updates from his laptop,
Oh.
which I'm not really concerned about.
Self-destruct engaged. 60-second countdown.
You want me to point the X, Y at the audience just in case?
Yes, absolutely. Because Chris is coming with another mic just in case we need it, so we can have an audience mic for our contestants. Because in case you haven't determined from the synopsis that was provided in your programs or online, we are playing a game called Haley.
Called Galley.
Ndalai. Ringing with professionality, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do.
Hold on, I'm gonna hit the record button. Yay!
Boom.
Big round of applause. You are on Gallifrey Public Radio, episode 259. That right there is a little bit much.
GPR.
We have been doing this nonsense for nigh upon 6 years at this point, but this time around we are actually joined by one of our favorite guests. My name is Kier Hansen, I am your host, and with me is... Oh my god, dramatic pause. Come on, Mally.
Oh, I thought you were gonna introduce me. I'm Haley. Hi.
The hand gesture wasn't enough. But sitting in with us in place of Jay Whitten, because he decided not to find his way up from
Dramatic
Texas.
improvement.
Yeah, dramatic improvement. Sorry, Texas. Is none other than This Week in Time Travels.
Alyssa Frankie.
Yay!
Do I need to go into witness protection? Is he going to come and like take me out now?
No,
He doesn't leave his house,
he is
he's fine.
weak and informidable.
Great. I have a
So-
good chance.
What we are doing tonight is we have been deciding that this year has been a little rough on the soul for many reasons, political and otherwise. So we have decided that we are going to fill all of our panels over this weekend with nothing but games and frivolity and stupidity and probably a lot of Drake. So what we're playing tonight is a game called Two Who's and a Lie. For those of you who are familiar with similar games on those Pinko NPR radio programs, they play a game where the audience is being asked to determine the truth and the lies in a series of stories provided. Now, those typically follow topics that are ripped from today's headlines and other related things, but we are going to do things within the Whovian vein. So what we'll be essentially doing is we'll be asking audience members to step forward, introduce themselves, tell us the reason why they've even bothered to stand in this room this evening. And we are going to present them with 3 pieces of Whovian trivia, one of which is completely bogus. They have to determine the lie among the truths, and in doing so, will earn points for our panelists, or lack of points for those of us who can't convince people otherwise. So, in getting started, can I have a show of hands of anybody who would like to be our first contestant for Two Who's and a Lie? All right, you're willing to do so. All right. Stand up, please, sir. I'm going to come around with a microphone for a moment just so that we can pick this up for the recording. Your name, first name, the town you're from, and why you're here.
My name is Eric, and I'm from Lake Ronkonkoma. And why I'm here is because I'm a fan of your podcast.
Is there any other reason to be in the room, ladies and
A
gentlemen?
gentleman and a scholar.
A scholar. I'm not really sure what he scholars, but he is a scholar. Eric, we are going to start you off with some, Haley, can you tip that so it's not quite so visible? That'd be awesome.
This is top secret information.
So we'll work down the table in this direction consistently, all right? So, it is known fact that Ridley Scott, who would eventually become the future director of Alien, Blade Runner, and Gladiator, was working as a designer for the BBC in the early 1960s, and was the man originally tapped to design the Daleks. That is a fact.
As everyone knows, Tom Baker entered a monastery at age 15, but after 8 years decided the life was too stoic and dull, and fancied a life of pleasure and egotism. Oh, okay, I see what's going on now.
You got it.
So, little known but definitely true fact. Queen frontman Freddie Mercury was among the short list of high-profile musicians who 80s showrunner John Nathan Turner considered to appear on Doctor Who for a ratings boost.
Eric, among those three facts, which one is the fallacy?
I'm going with the Ridley Scott one.
For the record, Ridley Scott to be determined as the false fact among those. Audience members, how's Eric doing?
Not too well.
Oh. Audience, if you were to, by show of just general grumbling noise thing, would you go with the Ridley Scott fact?
No.
With the Tom Baker in a monastery fact?
No.
With the Freddie Mercury considered as a ratings boost fact?
Yeah.
In truth, it was Freddie Mercury was the lie among the facts. So thank you very much, Eric, for your contribution to this with the first round. So you get an idea of how two who's and a lie is going to work. Big round of applause for Eric as our player. And I think that technically counts as a point for Alyssa for
Yes.
fielding
Yes.
against. Yes, all right. So as the score stands, I need another contestant for the next round, please, Mr. Sutter. Step forward, please. I don't really know this man well, so I just want to make sure he introduces himself to the recording audience.
My name is Chip, and I'm from Durham, North Carolina, and I'm here because I'm a big fan of Alyssa's podcast, This Week in Time Travel.
You're grounded, Chip.
This is where we hold up the piece of paper sign that just says, Chip.
Yes.
Really?
For those of you who don't know, Chip is my co-host on This Week in Time Travel.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
For anyone that's never met a podcaster, all we do is shamelessly self-promote.
Basically.
We have no other purpose in life.
The best thing is he doesn't know my tells because we don't use video often when we record, so he won't know if I'm lying.
Excellent. All right. Doing this now? Yep, we're going. Okay. Fact, Chip. Though resoundingly credited for her work at the BBC Radiophonic Workshop in developing the actual sound of the original Doctor Who theme, Delia Derbyshire never received a single penny of royalties for her work.
True fact, the spade-shaped key to the TARDIS that appeared in episodes The Time Warrior and Beyond, replacing the basic Yale key, was actually designed by John Pertwee himself.
Oh no. Terrible happened. Something terrible happened.
Tap the document.
I broke it. Haley unbroke it.
Sonic screwdriver in hand.
You're too clever by far, sir. Definitely true fact. Doctor Who producer Nikki Wilson was given the opportunity to voice the computer in the oft-maligned episode Sleep No More after discussions with writer Mark Gatiss expressing her fondness for the script.
I cannot, for the life of me, imagine anyone expressing a fondness for that script.
Excellent deductive reasoning, sir.
And in fact is the lie among the truths. So Chip has earned himself a point in identifying the falsehood among the facts. So yeah, Delia Derbyshire actually got absolutely nothing for her work in adapting the original composition into what we know as our Doctor Who theme. And the spade-shaped TARDIS key that replaced the Yale key was John Pertwee's contribution to the creativity of the story. So thank you very much, Chip, for your contribution to the
I would never have guessed that about John Pertwee. I had no idea.
Fancied himself a bit of a graphic artist, he did.
Aha.
Yeah, among other talents and vehicle theft.
Acquisitions.
I need another contestant for the next round, if we don't mind. Anyone who would like to play two Who's and a Lie. I'm going to jump a little further back in the row, and I'll get started. Come on up, sir. For just a moment. Your first name, town you're from, why the heck are you in this room?
My name's Paul. I'm from Mastic, which is right around here. And I also listen to the podcast, both of them.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and this is the kind of gentleman that I want to speak to because Paul, we've got a bit of a quandary here. One of us is lying, and we need your assistance. First thing that I found out, Bill Nye. Please, Bill Nye. Was actually offered the role of the Doctor at an indeterminate point before the 2005 revival, but turned down the opportunity because he felt there was, quote, no reasonable audience, end quote, for the program, and wished to avoid association with a flop.
Another fun fact. Scriptwriter Anthony Stephen defends the poor reception of his story, The Twin Dilemma, by explaining that his typewriter actually exploded during its composition.
That would be a good explanation.
That's one way to get out of it.
Yeah.
My dog ate my homework.
I hear that a lot.
The legendary role of Sarah Jane Smith was not originally Liz Sladen's part. It was intended until the last moment to go to actor April Walker, but she was replaced when it became clear she had no chemistry on screen with John Pertwee.
Paul, can you identify the falsehood among those Whovian factoids?
It sounds too easy to say the typewriter exploding sounds like the lie, so we're going to go with that.
Okay. Audience members, we are going with the typewriter explosion. Do we consider that to be the falsehood among the facts? Oh, they're actually accepting that as some sort of a truth. Haley, how do we stand on where the actual falsehood lies?
Well, the lie among these facts was that Bill Nye was offered the role.
He was actually offered the role, but there is no explanation to this day as to why it was that he turned it down. We just assumed that among ourselves that he didn't really want the title role, so he wanted to be just, your museum curator to tear our hearts out in the middle of Vincent the Doctor and make us all weep like children.
You got too close to the chemicals.
So that's a point for me.
That's a point for you? I fooled him on the lie.
Yeah,
That's a point for me.
I thought it was whoever he picked. Wait, I'm not.
I think if I can fool
on the
somebody
lie.
on the lie,
Yeah, you get the point.
I get the
You
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Mally. Not gonna
I
happen.
want
Paul,
the
thank you
points.
very much for the round of applause, Paul. Playing with us. Sir, you wanted to come and play around?
Sure.
All right, round 4. Fight! No, there's no fighting. We're pacifists.
Unless we finish early.
Yo, Adrian!
No signal.
Ooh.
Your first name, the town you're from, and why the hell are you in this room, sir?
My name's Alan, and I'm from Belmont, New Hampshire,
That's a haul. That's longer than ours. Wow, okay, yeah.
Yes, it was.
and I'm a fan of the podcast.
All the
Fantastic.
podcasts are represented in this room.
All right, sir. And we do have numerous podcasts represented in the room, so thank you so much for being a part of the game today. All right, a little bit of a fact for you, sir. According to a BBC memo that actually circulated during the mid-1960s when they realized that William Hartnell was going to have to be replaced, and they came up with the Convention of Regeneration. They wanted to describe to the crew and the actors principal what this was going to be portrayed as, and actually said the regeneration process was supposed to feel like, quote, a bad acid trip for the titular character.
Another true fact on here. Murray Gold has crafted numerous variations of the iconic theme since taking over as Doctor Who composer and orchestra conductor, but admitted in an interview that a haunted lullaby rendition he once scored for the episode Listen, complete with toy piano and out-of-tune music box, was too disturbing and will never be used.
Another fun fact, David Tennant actually began to pursue an acting career in the early 1980s with the specific intent of playing the Doctor, inspired not by stepdad Peter Davison, but by Tom Baker.
Don't believe time crash.
Mhm.
Where is the lie among those facts?
Guessing Haley's.
All right, we're going with fact number 2.
Never.
Which would be Haley's mention of the Murray Gold composing a variation of the Doctor Who theme as a haunted lullaby that was deemed too creepy to air. Haley, accuracy or inaccuracy?
That was a lie, but I'm going to challenge. Because Peter Davison is not David Tennant's stepfather, but his father-in-law.
Father-in-law. That's a mistype. Really, you're gonna.
I read what they wrote.
You're going to actually defy your own point earned because of a mistype
No,
on
I
that.
didn't earn a point. He guessed correctly.
He guessed correctly.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
oh,
he
you're
gets-
trying to defend yourself and actually kick that point to the ground. Okay.
I would
So you
also-
I accurately identified. Murray Gold did not do a haunted lullaby rendition of the Doctor Who theme, but as I put this one together, I thought, how freaking cool would that sound? Especially with some slowed down slightly, a little bit out of tune, a little more minor keys in that. I think my baby's somewhere in the back of the room right now. Probably wouldn't sleep very well.
Nope.
Nope,
Yeah.
he left.
Nope, he left. All right. I need another contestant to play our 5th round of Two Who's and a Lie. Sir, please step forward. I keep doing this. I should just have another microphone. This is just clumsy as heck. Sorry, first name, town you're from, why you're here joining us, other than just seeing our shining faces getting slowly inebriated up on the dais.
Slowly.
Rapidly.
Somebody showed
inebriated
up, not
on the
already
dais.
inebriated?
What about that
My name's
microphone
Tony.
right there?
I'm from Pembroke, New Hampshire, and I'm here to hang out with my best friend.
Hanging out with the best friend from New Hampshire. Did you drive?
Yes.
So, 6 hours?
Oh, no, more like 10 and a half.
Depending
No, we
on.
left at 4 in the morning, so we avoided all the traffic.
All right, so here we go. First fact to provide with you. Brian Blessed. I love Brian Blessed. Brian was actually intended to be a recurring villain on the show in the late 1960s in a role that involved, well, with no surprise, a lot of physical intimidation, a lot of shouting, because it's Brian Blessed. After the casting of Patrick Troughton and later John Pertwee as the titular character, it was decided that a more intellectual adversary